can't imagine life without chocolate. You're lucky you were born before the 16th century. Until then, chocolate only existed in Mesoamerica, in a form quite different from what we know. As far back as 19th century BCE, the people of that region had learned to prepare the beans of the native cacao tree. The earliest records tell that the beans were ground and mixed with corn and chili pepper to create a drink, not a relaxing cup of hot cocoa, but a bit invigorating concoction frothing with foam. And if you thought we were a big deal about chocolate today, the Mesoamerica has a beat. They believed that cacao was a heavenly food given to human by a feather spirit god known as Maya as Caculan to our artist quest code. Actors eat cacao beans as the currency and drank chocolate at royal feasts, give it to soldiers as reward for success in battle, and use it in rule. The first realistic chocolate encounter occurred in 1519 when the Han coasted visited the court of Matuza in Tenochtitlan. I record by court's lieutenant, the king has 50 jugs of drink brought out and poured into golden cups. When the colleagues return into shipments of string new bean, missionary installation accounts of native customs give a reputation as aphrodisiacs. At first, its bitter taste made it acceptable as a means for elements like obsessed so much, but sweetening it with honey, sugar, or vanilla quickly made a chocolate popular delicacy in the Spanish court, and soon no artist's court home was complete without dedicated chocolate war. The fashionable drink was difficult and time-consuming to produce on a large scale that involved using plantation and improved sales labor of the Caribbean and on an islands of the coast of Africa. The world of chocolate would change forever in 1828 with the introduction of the cocoa pressed by Cornel van Houten of Amsterdam. Van Houten's invention could stir by the cocoa national fat or cocoa butter. This left about powder that could be mixed into the drinkable solution. After combined with the cocoa butter, and created a soul chocolate that we know today. Not long after, a sweet chocolate named Johnny Peter that courted by a burger drink was no longer an eaten luxuries but become a treat for the public, meeting the message demand of require more cultivation of cocoa, we can only grow in the equator. Now, instead of African steppe began shift to South America cocoa plantation, cocoa production itself was shipped into the West Africa with coke and a divorce putting 2/5 of the world cocoa as the 2050. Yet along with the growth of the industry, there has been horrific abuse of the human rights. Many of the plantations throughout in the West Africa, we supply the Western companies, safe and chill favor, that the emergency that more than 2 million children affect. This is a complex problem with the pursuit despite efforts from the major chocolate companies to partner with African nations to reduce, try and introduction labor practice. Today, chocolate has identified itself in the rituals of our modern culture. Due its colonial association with the native cultures, combined with the power of the advertising, chocolate retains an aura of something sensual, decadent, and forbidden. Yet knowing more about this fashion and often cruel history, as well as its productions today, tell us where these accomplishments originate and what they hide. So as you unwrap your next bar of chocolate, take a moment to consider that not everything about chocolate is sweet.